Okay, so there is Eddie Hearn stating that Martin Bakole versus Joseph Parker might be a better fight than Joseph Parker versus Daniel Dubois. And let me counterpunch. I think that there's no way of knowing that. The only way that we would know that and we would get that if Joseph Parker indeed fought both. Okay? And depending on the outcome, there's still many variables, okay? And the variables are simple. What would Joseph Parker do with Daniel Dubois this time around? What would transpire? Would he win? Could he beat Daniel Dubois? I mean, if you think about what I'm saying, I think that, if anything, Joseph Parker's mind was set on fighting Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois took ill, viral infection, whatever it is, right? And he won't fight Daniel Dubois. He will fight Martin Bakole, which could be a recipe for disaster. I want people to understand that. Le Duapa Pacquiao, Anthony Joshua, Andy Ruiz. Those type of things, you think you're going to be in there and go in there to fight one style, and then whatever happens, the opponents change, then you're left with this new kid on the block, this new challenge, this unknown threat. The devil that you don't know is right in front of you. So it's hard to say what would be better. I think based on the circumstances, it will be more difficult for Joseph Parker. Because Joseph Parker had his mind set on one fighter. Because if anybody, I think, was more locked in, it was Joseph Parker. So I think it's harder on Joseph Parker. But is it a better fight? There's no way of knowing that. You know what I mean? Now, is Martin Bakole, by reputation or namesake, just as challenging? Oh, absolutely. By reputation only. Not by record or by experience, because Martin Bakole was that guy that they pretty much, to be honest with you, kind of froze out for a while, and he couldn't get fights that he really wanted to get until now. He broke through with the Jared Anderson fight. He got in the good graces of Turki Al-Sheikh, and now he's getting the Joseph Parker fight instead of Daniel Dubois, which won't be getting paid, because if you don't fight, you don't get paid. Simple. But Martin Bakole is a dangerous opponent. Now, keep in mind, it's Eddie Hearn that's saying this, so he doesn't have really a pony in the show. If you ask someone like Frank Warren, he'll look at you crazy saying that, Martin Bakole's a more dangerous opponent than Daniel Dubois. He would look at you crazy because that's his fighter. He's supposed to. But for Eddie, he doesn't have a pony in the show, so he's a neutral mindset. Or should I say the adversary's mindset of rooting for the other fighter, contrast the rival promoter. So, yeah, of course, he's not cool with Ben Shalom either, but he is still rival of Frank Warren because, he still owes Frank 5 ass whoopings because, Frank skunked him in the 5 versus 5 last year. So it did a number on Matchroom, so there's many reasons why Eddie Hearn would say what he said. But then here's the thing. Eddie Hearn is not the only person thinking that Martin Bakole may be a tougher fight. But even if Martin Bakole beats him, that doesn't mean that Daniel Dubois would or wouldn't. But we won't know because the fight never happened. But you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn stating that Martin Bakole is a better fight than Daniel Dubois to Joseph Parker. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace!